This week brings the release of Metroid Dread, the first original 2D installment of Nintendo's long-running science fiction franchise in almost 20 years. For many, Metroid Fusion is a high watermark for the series and one of the Game Boy Advance's very best games. But I have a confession to make. I was never that into it. It was always too linear and felt like it was holding my hand, taking away a lot of what I loved about Super Metroid. But with the next installment just days away, I figured that this might be a great time to give the side-scrolling classic a second look. So, turn back now if you don't want to know what happens next, because today we're going to spoil the story and ending for Metroid Fusion on the Game Boy Advance. This is Game Over, the early years. Chronologically, Fusion takes place at the end of the Metroid timeline, after Other M, Federation Force, and all the Prime games. We're not gonna dive into the full breakdown of those games in this episode, but I will be pulling information here and there from the previous games when it's important. All you really need to know is that Samus Aran is an intergalactic bounty hunter, and yes, a woman, who gets wrapped up in a song and dance number where she's constantly having to eradicate the Metroid species from the universe. After a few failed attempts, that's basically what happens in Other M. She works with Adam Malkovich of the Galactic Federation to stop the nefarious plot to recreate the Metroids. Adam ends up sacrificing himself to give Samus a chance to take out the Queen Metroid and eliminate the species for good. Now our story picks up on SR-388, the Metroid's home planet, where Samus finds herself assigned to watching over a biological research team. It's on this mission where the team finds a new species of aliens that immediately latches on to Samus's iconic suit. The researchers later discover that the attacker was a parasitic organism known as X, but it was too late. Once the X had infested Samus's central nervous system, she lost consciousness and her ship drifted into an asteroid belt. Thankfully, the ship's computer activated the escape pod before impact, saving our hero's life and allowing her to be rescued by the research vessel. However, what they didn't know is that X was slowly multiplying and corrupting large areas of her suit. This made it impossible for them to fully remove the power suit, leading to a number of surgeries that not only dramatically altered Samus's appearance, but also left her with a minimal chance of survival. The good news is that at the last second, the researchers were able to concoct a cure by using the Metroid cell to create an anti-X vaccine. Samus was reborn, waking up with the unsettling knowledge that the Metroids had once again saved her life. Now that she's up and about, the bounty hunter's mission is to oversee the ship's computer and make sure that everything goes smoothly. But, seeing how this is a Metroid game and all, I'm pretty sure you already know that things definitely do not go smoothly. We don't even have to wait very long before things go wrong, because right from the point where we touch down, there's an alert of an explosion in the quarantine bay. You see, that's where they're keeping the samples that they picked up on SR-388. Things only get worse when Samus shows up to the quarantine bay and finds the X Parasite infecting a Hornode, who ends up becoming bigger, meaner, and tougher than ever before. Using the information that they have, Samus and the computer AI, which he has now started to call Adam, discover that the X Parasite is infecting the life forms on the space station and mimicking them. Yeah, that's bad, but things are about to get a lot worse when our bounty hunter realizes that she too has a doppelganger causing havoc. We're gonna call that version of Samus the SA-X. Now, it's probably worth mentioning that when the SA-X caused the explosion in the quarantine bay, they also unleashed the X Parasite into the station. This basically sets up a scenario where Samus has to explore every part of the ship to defeat the X-infected aliens, and then also retrieve her missing abilities. in true Metroid fashion, unlocking those abilities will open up new parts of the ship to explore, further revealing the twisted plot. It's after defeating these infected monsters that Samus discovers that the research team has been storing a bunch of infant Metroids as well as other clones in various states of maturity. What's even worse is that the SA-X is trying to destroy the Metroids, as they are the X Parasite's only known predator. Let me tell you, this plan backfires spectacularly, causing the Metroids to break free and trigger the station's emergency failsafe procedure. This sends Samus scrambling to escape the lab, which later explodes over SR-388. Looking for answers, Samus turns to her computer pal Adam, who is not a happy AR camper. In fact, the computer is pissed off at what just happened, arguing that the Federation was secretly working on Metroid breeding for, get this, peaceful applications only. Promise! Yeah, and that's what Wayland Yutani said also. Look, we're told that the space station was designed to be a perfect replica of the SR-388 ecosystem, making it the ideal place to raise Alpha, Gamma, Zeta, and even Omega Metroids. And that's not all, because the researchers have also found a way to rapidly grow an infant into a full-grown Omega in just a matter of days. And guys, that's not even the worst of it, because now we learn that the SA-X has been reproduced, which means that there are no fewer than 10 versions currently on board the station. Yeah, I think it's fair to say that things are now officially out of control. Shocked by all the revelations, Samus gets back to doing what she does best, which is killing X-infected aliens and exploring the space station. Boy, I hope that was cathartic for her, because she's about to have some real serious tech problems. Now that she's caused a bunch of damage, the computer suggests that Samus leave the station and celebrate a job well done. I mean, the Federation is gonna swoop in and deal with both the X Parasite and the SA-X. However, Samus is skeptical, concerned that the Federation will be easily wiped out, giving the X Parasite even more information. This can't happen, so our hero decides to activate the station's self-destruct mechanism in hopes of killing the X Parasite, even if that means dying in the process. Alright, here's where Metroid Fusion starts to fly off the rails. You see, the computer has been programmed to trap Samus in the navigation room until the Federation shows up, which, I'll be honest, makes sense. But things start to get weird when the bounty hunter starts pleading with the computer and using the name Adam. This prompts the computer to start asking questions about this Adam fellow, which leads to the AI changing its mind and suggesting a way to destroy the X Parasite and push back at the Federation, all in one move. Also, the computer starts talking like the real Adam, even going as far as to call Samus Lady. Could it be that Adam's personality was uploaded to the computer before his death and he's been here this whole time? Look, there's no time to ponder that question now, because Samus first needs to get to the operation room and change the station's orbit. You see, the plan is to not only blow up the space station, but also move it close enough to SR-388 to destroy the planet in the process. It's a simple plan that's not necessarily guaranteed to work, but first she's gonna need to take out another SA-X. That's not too hard, but Samus makes the crucial mistake of letting the X Parasite escape. I guess she doesn't think that's a big deal, because she starts the self-destruct process and hurries back to the ship to make a hasty escape. There's just one big problem. It seems that the docking bay has been destroyed, and the ship is nowhere to be found. Oh yeah, and a giant Omega Metroid shows up, just in case you thought that she had already hit rock bottom. This is bad. I mean, real bad. Samus doesn't have any effective weapons, and one swipe of the Metroid's claws reduces her health down to one mere unit of energy. But wait, what's this? The SA-X has returned, and it's actually helping Samus? After weakening the beast, the parasite allows the bounty hunter to absorb its abilities, giving Samus the Omega Suit, an ice beam, and a fighting chance. With our abilities returned, our hero kills the Omega Metroid and braces for an explosion. And with only a few seconds left to go, this is what happens next.
30 seconds to impact.
Now, much like some of the previous installments, Metroid Fusion rewards players with different pictures depending on their time and the items that you ended up picking up. Where things get a little bit confusing is that there are images that are exclusive to the Japanese version. What you're looking at right now is a collection of all 12 of the pictures that you can earn as you beat the game multiple times. I really just want to thank the good people over at Wikitroid for uploading all these pictures, because it's pretty much the only way I'd ever be able to include all of these in the breakdown. When it comes to the story, I like what Metroid Fusion is doing. It dabbles here and there in horror, while also sending us for a loop with twist after twist after twist. Personally, I think the story goes one twist too far by bringing up the stuff about uploading Adam's personality to the computer. But hey, maybe they'll do something interesting with that in Metroid Dread. Aside from that, I like how Samus doesn't always know who to trust and is ready to die for what she believes in. I also like the cliffhanger ending, which could send the series in a number of really interesting directions. I mean, is this really the last time we've seen SR-388? Will she face discipline from the Federation? Will she ever see a Metroid again? Guys, I don't claim to be a psychic or anything, but with Dread only days away, I have a hunch that Nintendo's gonna find a way to bring back those pesky Metroids. Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Game Over, The Early Years. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that we post new episodes almost every week. In fact, we have more than 160 of these in a playlist, and you should go and check them out. Now, here's the question I have for you. What is your favorite Metroid game? For as much as I like the Prime series, I gotta go with Super Metroid. I mean, that's the one that meant the most to me at the time, and it's probably the one that I would go back and play right now. Let me see your picks in the comments below. In other news, we'll be back tomorrow with a review of The Big Con, followed by a look at Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. If that sounds good to you, then I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then,